Choose what I say. Man, words are important, are they not? We know that in the beginning was the Word was of God, and the Word was God. We're talking about some pretty powerful stuff going on. Also going to be talking about today, creativity. Woohoo! As a songwriter, creativity. Everybody thinks, or most people may think, that creativity is something that only a few people have. I'm here to dispel that myth. If you are one of those that thinks because you don't write a song or you don't dance or you don't act in a movie that you're not creative. The Gifts of Imperfection, Brené Brown, I'm going to start with that quote. She says, I love this, she says, there is no such thing as creative people and non-creative people. There are only people who use their creativity and people who don't. Unused creativity doesn't just disappear. It lives within us until it's expressed, neglected to death, or suffocated by resentment and fear. We are inherently creative beings. We are built that way. Spirit brought us into this world in order to express itself through us and as us. And so in order for it to do that, that is how it works in science of mind, it needs us in this physical form to express all of those things that it wants to express. To create. It is infinitely creative. Spirit is infinitely creative and has imbued us with that same capacity. We have all of the mental, the spiritual, and the physical capacities to do this. Working with the law. The law is in itself not creative. It only knows what to do with what we give it in our creativity. It's this beautiful thing that we call the reciprocal relationship with Spirit. Spirit imbues us with an idea, with inspiration, with these little nudges that say grow, 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 change, evolve, express more of me. But we also have that beautiful thing called free will where we can say, no, I don't want to do that today. But when we do say yes, when we say yes to that law, when we put the belief, when we put the energy, the emotion behind the words, when we speak the word, we talk about that all the time. We talk about speaking all the time. When we speak the word, we are declaring, we are claiming, we are proclaiming a truth that already exists in infinite potential. When we speak that, the law says, okay, here you go. The law says yes. So our reciprocal relationship with Spirit is to the best of our ability, stay on what I and a very dear friend of mine called the yes expressway. It is saying yes to that divine nudge, trusting that everything has been provided for us to do the expressing. We are indeed individualized expressions of the One. It only follows that we must create in order to do our part to express that which is always seeking to express through and as us. So the title of this talk today is What If and Why Not? The what if is curiosity. When we become a certain age, after being a kid, after we have been bombarded with a lot of messages about what our beliefs are, most of those have been given to us. The beliefs that we operate from have been given to us before we were able to say, hey, wait a minute, not right, doesn't feel right, that doesn't feel like me or the God expressing through me. And we are sponges. We are absolute sponges when we are little. We take in all of our physical senses, our sight, smell, taste, touch, sound, and also we are very sensitive beings. So we take in the feeling, the belief, the energy, the resonance, whatever you want to call it, and we take all of those things on. We take on as well what we call the mass consciousness, the race consciousness of generations before us, of culture, of humanity. the one mind, that consciousness of the one mind. Everything comes in at us until we begin to discern, well, maybe that's not quite right. And many people don't. Many people never get there. They stay within that framework that they were given and say, I can't change, I can't do anything else. It's the fear. Oh my gosh, the fear. I can't do that because I'm going to get in trouble. I can't do that because I'm not qualified. I've been told that I am not smart enough. I've been told that I'm not pretty, right size, right shape, athletic, whatever it might be. And we take on those beliefs until we say, wait a minute, my life might not be working so well. So we look at the what if and the why not. The what if is curiosity. The what if is, well, wait a minute. What if that's not the truth of who I am? What if that's not the truth of the way that the world works or the way that I see the world works? Curiosity is a necessary component to creativity. The why not is, well, why not? Here, let me list all of the reasons why I can't or won't do something. Why I can't. If I go right back to the beliefs that I was imbued with or that I have gotten in practiced mental habit with, I'm going to find every reason when that piece of inspiration or that idea comes through from spirit, I'm going to find every reason in the world not to pursue it. Takes us right back to the question, well, what if? What if? Here's the bigger question. What if this particular idea was given to me, was given to you, because Spirit knows you have everything within you already to bring it forth into expression. This is the why not I'm talking about. When we make this loop from, well, what if? What if this belief was given to me in order to do something with it? Then why not? Why not try it? That's where the creativity comes in. Why not? What if this were possible? Well, what do we know about possibility? We live in an infinitely possible universe. Every imaginable and then some. We can't even get to infinite. We can't even imagine getting to infinite of what's available to us through the mind, the one mind, through spirit, as it comes to us. If you think about those ideas, they're floating around. This is my visual, floating like these prayer flags behind my head. If they're floating around and you land on one, and there it is. It's dropped in for you. If you're noticing it and going, hey, well, that's a really cool idea. What if that were possible? And then you go into the not productive, well, why not? And you shush it away and you push it aside and you go, well, yeah, whatever. And you go into the practice mental habit of saying, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I'm not smart enough, I don't have the resources, and you shoo it away. And then down the road, 6 months or a year later, you're watching Shark Tank on TV, and somebody has taken that idea and run with it. And they're looking at huge success in their business or their company or this idea, and they're going to get more supply, more funded, or that's the possibility, another possibility. And you go, hey, I thought of that. Well, yeah, sure you did. It came to you for you to do something with it, to create something new with it. That free will snuck right in there and said, yeah, nope, not me. And so guess what happens? That idea is still not in form, and somebody who was open received the idea and took it and took divine action with it and manifested it in some way, shape, or form. So you see the paradox and the paradigm. It seems like, well, that's not fair. Well, no, you choose. You chose your words. You said, I choose what I say. I said, I can't. Here's my belief. Henry Ford had a famous saying about that. Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're always going to be right. That's just the way it goes. It's our belief behind the words And speaking the word powers them right up. So, Ernest Holmes says, nature will not let us stay in any one place too long. Nature demands this change in order that we may advance. When this change comes, we should welcome it with a smile on the lips and a song in the heart. That is the what if question. When we are faced with something that is kind of turning our world upside down, forcing us, as it were, into change, we can roll over and say, ain't my life awful? Oh my God, this is happening to me. And instead, if we ask the question, what if? What if this were happening for my good? What if there is some benefit, some good in this? And then if I can begin to see the possibility, if I can get myself back out of fear and anxiety, I open to creativity. I open to the solutions that are being shown in every moment. I started using a mantra several months ago, maybe even a year ago now, and it came through the Abraham Hicks, the podcasts and the YouTube things, and Abraham Hicks been around a long time. And it was simply claiming, proclaiming, accepting, agreeing with. Here it is. Everything is always working out in my favor. Everything is always working out in my favor. I am in agreement with that loving spirit, that unconditionally loving spirit of God that is expressing in and through and as me. How could I not be abundantly supplied and supported in everything that I do? I'm in partnership. When I'm relaxed into that, when I trust, when I lean in, when I surrender as best I can my ego around trying to control the outcome, and instead lean into that energy, that thing that has infinite intelligence, I can relax. And then, wow, here come all of these creative ideas, solutions, the answer, the next thing, the text that shows up at the right time. This is, wow, here's this person reaching out for this very thing that I was just thinking about, or this perceived problem that I've been trying to work out. It's a beautiful thing to do. Leaning in and trusting and affirming, yes, everything is always working out in my favor because I am God expressing. Not ego, like I'm better than you, I know more than you. No. I am part of that one whole perfect thing that is individualized in each one of us. I have access to it. I still have to do my part. I can sit on my meditation cushion all day long and say, God help me, God help me, God help me, show me, show me, show me, show me. But when that little piece of information comes in, or that text or that phone call or that email or whatever, or that billboard shows me something and I go, yeah, okay, and out of my mind, I'm not doing my part. But when I notice it, I acknowledge it, I give gratitude for it, not knowing what's going to come next, except that I need to take an action step with it. And that's the third part of this talk today, is when you're going through hell, you've heard that, keep going. But the idea here is, I'm going to give you this quote from Thomas More from A Care of the Soul. Creativity finds its soul when it embraces its shadow. The artist's block, for instance, is a well-known part of the creative process. Everyone, not only artists, I'll say that again, not only artists, recognizes the evaporation of ideas. A mother may enjoy raising her children for months or for years, every day thinking up new ideas for them. And then one day inspiration leaves and emptiness takes over. If we could see how our blank spots are a part of our creativity, we might not so quickly exclude this aspect of work from our humble lives. What that is saying to me overall is that writer's block is a part of the process. I want to share a personal story with you about writer's block, especially as a songwriter. In a workshop a number of years ago, someone made I would call it the error of saying to the instructor, to the facilitator, I can't write, I haven't been able to write for months or years or whatever it was, I have writer's block. And the instructor got very, very quiet and stared out at all of us, and we all got a little bit nervous, like, okay, what does this mean? And I love what he said. He said, writer's block, the size of your writer's block is directly proportional to the distance of your butt from your writing chair. Meaning, here's the spiritual thing that you've heard before. It means show up anyway. Doesn't mean you have to be an artist or a writer. You can be a mother, a scientist, a chef, a nurse, a doctor, a gardener. Doesn't matter. It's how we show up in life when things get dull or feel empty. It is the nature of nature. It is the nature of spirit, as we started today with change is necessary. That's the bottom line. And we should welcome it with a smile on our lips and a song in our heart, according to Ernest Holmes. Meaning, in the larger scheme of things, this quote-unquote dry spell is an indication that something needs to shift. In the simplest way of saying this is chop wood, carry water. In your spiritual practice, going to have dry spells. That means it's time to change it up. Change up your meditation habit. Change up your mindfulness practice. Change up the way you exercise, move your body. Change your diet. Doesn't have to be a major shift, but something needs to shift. That is what we are built for. That is the creative impulse in us. You've heard the expression that success is 90% perspiration, 10% inspiration. It's the same thing with creativity. We do the work. We do the work. And in those moments when we have prepared are those transcendent moments where the things that seem like miracles absolutely drop in. Back to that instructor, that facilitator of that songwriting workshop. The beauty of what he said in that day was about your not being in your writer's chair, just hammering it out. What he did is he gave us permission as well, and this is what's important. He gave us permission. He said, whatever you do, it's okay to write crap. Meaning, yeah, you're going to write a lot of really bad songs. But the more you do it, the more you open yourself to that channel of getting your ego out of the way, getting perfectionism out of the way. And that's the biggest thing that we hang on to, isn't it? We get that out of the way so that in those moments when we're just relaxed and we're just grooving along and then all of a sudden a line will drop in, or that idea or the solution that you think you've been looking for years will drop in. I don't like to say it, but this is the idea that I came up with, that perfectionism is a practiced excuse for not doing the grunt work. Yeah. Not fun, doesn't feel good, until you see the results of doing the grunt work. It's the old adage, you don't go to the gym one day and become super buff. It's a process, just like our spiritual practice, just like anything else we do in life. The more we do it, the more we finesse it, the more we find ways of being a greater expression of spirit. So it's about, sorry to say it, getting down to business, taking care of it, doing the work. And along the way, always asking, well, what if? What if this were an easier process? It's okay to ask that question. It's okay to affirm that. It's okay to say, everything is always working out in my favor. And then why not? Why not do this? Why not dive in? Why not go all in and experiment and see if this works? See if this philosophy, if this science of mind philosophy works. I'm here to tell you it does. It works when you work it. You've probably heard that before. So I'm going to send you out with an invitation today and a treatment about this very thing. Asking what if and why not? And then doing the work. Taking the steps, taking the guidance, taking the divine action that is also being given to us to do. The results are absolutely fabulous, I can tell you that from experience. So let's take this into a prayer, into an affirmative prayer right now. I invite you to close your eyes if you feel so inclined. I'm not going to see it if you don't. There's no judgment. Let's just take a deep breath and get grounded and set our feet into the floor and imagine roots going down into the center of the earth, just deep, solid, trusting, open place. And knowing that as our feet go down, as we are in this foundation of God, we are also open at the top to allow the flow. God is here, right here, wherever we are, wherever we plant our feet, wherever we walk. Because God is in us, expressing as us. And so what I know and I affirm for anyone listening, everyone listening, within the sound of my voice, whenever it is being heard, that there is a new opening, there is a new willingness, there is a new acceptance of the idea that there is infinite supply. There is infinite support, infinite intelligence, and unconditional love in every moment of our lives. And what I know and I affirm is that we open to that. We open to the possibility. We open to the possibility of knowing, being willing to know that there is infinite possibility, an infinite number of choices that we have in every single day to move our lives into greater expression of love and compassion, abundance, wholeness, knowing our wholeness. And I affirm that good. I affirm that deep, deep, absolutely overflowing good for each and every one of us. As I know it for myself, I know it for all. And what I also know is the courage, the commitment, the willingness to take the divine action as it is revealed. To take the next step and the next step and the next step, knowing along every one of those steps that there are no mistakes. Trusting and knowing that that infinite intelligence is always there, guiding us so that we don't have to judge ourselves, beat ourselves up. We simply say, okay, that didn't work. Let me try something else. So knowing that intelligence, that wisdom, that perfection of God is right here, right now for all of us. And that everything we dream, we do, we envision is of God. And it is always working out in our favor. And so knowing this, I feel the gratitude well up in me, and I can let these words go into that law that only knows yes. And knowing that it is done and it is so, we simply affirm it by saying, and so it is, and so it is.